Hello, it's Bill with Colorado 4x4 Van. Just want to say happy Father's Day to everybody out there that's hopefully doing something fun for the day. I brought my boys out to van headquarters here. We just went on a walk. Max is guarding Nella and her throne up there. But we're going to do some work on the van today. I've got a list of things I want to do. I have some wiring to get done. I have a inverter to mount and some other white wiring to do in the van, and I have a fire extinguisher that I want to mount in the van, kitchen type fire extinguisher that I want to mount in the van, and that's my primary list. We'll see what we get to. So here's the kitchen fire extinguisher that I need to install. As you can see, it's a little bit on the big side. And all it has for a mounting bracket is this here. And I don't like that, so I'm going to build something for it to sit on too and mount it on the side inside the van there. And then here's the Krieger inverter that I got. It's 1100 watts, has a readout and everything. Some heavy cords to hook it up. I'll never use this much inverter, but it's just kind of nice to have. And it came with a remote start button. So the inverter is going to mount up under here, I think, on the side. I'm going to mount that remote start switch probably over here somewhere. And then I'm going to plug the inverter into this power adapter, so when I turn on the remote start for the inverter, I'll have AC power to those outlets there. Okay, now I've got my AC charger here, main wire to the main fuse for the inverter here, main battery disconnect wired in here. I'll shut off the whole system. I shut it off again, but when I test it, it kills the power to my radio and turns me onto a really loud Spanish station, and it erases all my presets and all that, so I don't want to do that again. But anyway, now I can shut off all the power to the whole panel here. And the only wires left under here that aren't accounted for is this one here, which is a wire I've run back for the pod eventually. And I'm not doing anything with that right now. It's not hooked up to anything. And I gotta cut in my start button for the inverter. Okay, now I've got the switch installed there. Just turn it on, and it's on. It works. Just one more wire to tidy up here, and we're golden. Getting better, but it's still 101. Okay, I think I've got everything put back together. It's time to test out our inverter here. So I'm going to, sorry about that, turn it on. Charging my radio, but it is working. I know this draws about, I don't know, 40 some watts to charge that, so but it's working. Success. And there are a couple of dumb things today. I've had trouble with my faucet. You know, it's just been kind of intermittent running and slow running and things like that. And just to show you, to check the simple things first. I was certain it was a ground issue or electrical something. So I took everything apart underneath there, hooked up my tester, tested all the voltage, ran a separate ground to my ground block. Still the same problem. Couldn't figure it out. Took the plumbing apart. Thought maybe there was something there. Narrowed it down to the faucet. Well, called my plumber. The aerator in here was plugged up. There's a little foam insert in there on top for a filter on top of the aerator. Plugged up with dirt and stuff. That was all the problem. And another simple problem solved. My backup camera stopped working. on this last trip that I made. So I went to check out, maybe a wire came loose or something back there. The plug back there on the door that where the camera plugs in came undone. So now I taped it together, so it'll never happen again. So I just got to show you the simple things would have saved me a couple of hours today. But now you know. Learn from my stupidity, please. Okay, this electrical day is coming to an end. I just thought I'd give a quick rundown of what I have here, just so for reference. It's cleaned up now, so you can kind of see most of what is here. On the positive side of the battery, I've got this red wire is the power out to this main switch. The blue wire comes out of the main switch, goes over into my circuit panel there. So this turns off that whole panel. The other wires on it are this red wire comes from the separator switch up in the front under the hood to charge off the alternator, and this black wire here comes off my solar charger. So that's the only wires on the positive side are from the switch, or some, excuse me, to the switch, and from the two other charging methods there. On the negative side back there, I've got, oh, and I'm sorry, this main one here is for the inverter, but that can't come off the switch. That had to come off here. So that's the inverter. So on the negative post back there, I've got the big wire is for the inverter. I've got a direct ground to the fridge off of there. I've got the red ground goes to my ground block there, and I've got a chassis ground that goes directly to the chassis behind here. That's probably a waste now that I have the ground block, but that was there, so I just left it. You see the main inverter wire. There's the big main fuse there, 150 amp fuse for the inverter there. I've been running the inverter for a little while now, and it's charging my radio, and the cooling fan hasn't even kicked on. And that's what I use it. What I would mostly use it for is plug in my radios up here and charge them during the day while we're out doing whatever, so we can listen to them at night. You can see my circuits there. They're all broken down one at a time. I've got a couple of spares on the end and this one here that go underneath the bed over there. They don't have a fuse on them, so they don't get powered up. But I've got it broken down pretty good. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 circuits in the camper back here for lighting and outlets and stuff like that. The radio, everything. There's 8 different circuits, so that's pretty broken up. This last circuit on the end here is my direct wire for my Genius charger, which I have clipped in here, and the power wire goes to there. That'll charge it, and the ground wire goes to my ground block there. So now when I plug that in, it should just start charging. I don't have the clips on the posts anymore, so that's taken care of. This wire here I explained earlier, but that's a power wire that I'm for the pod when I get to that, but it's not hooked up now. So yeah, the inverter, this plug to the inverter is just that plug right there. That's what I mainly use it for. This green plug here is a AC plug that goes up to the compartment above the cab. So in case I ever want to run a, I don't know, Blu-ray player or PlayStation or whatever up there, if I'm on shore power, I have power up there also. And then this power here is cord goes to the Genius charger over here. What else is there under here? I think that's mostly it. It's mostly cleaned up now. We'll try it and see. This I'll have to screw closed. Oh yeah, the white wire back there is the communication wire, the remote start wire for the inverter. So it's mostly cleaned up, and hopefully that'll work. Now eventually I'm going to want to, this battery has a 4-year replacement guarantee, but it's only about 100 amp hours. But that's plenty for what I'm doing. It'll run the fridge, it'll charge my stuff. It's plenty for what I'm doing. But if I were to use this more extended usage, I'd probably want to take this out and switch over to maybe 2 6-volt batteries here, and then I'd have 125 to 150 amp hours but that would require to cut out some more of the floor and fit it all in there. At any rate, that's what I have. And that plus my goof around with the plumbing and the backup camera took all my day, so I didn't get the fire extinguisher done. Unfortunately, that's going to have to wait till my next day to work on the van, but it's in the van, so it'll be usable. It's just not mounted professionally. But that's my update for Father's Day. Happy Father's Day again, and we'll see you next time.